boom. I mean, that music, it gets me every time. It's
I
brilliant.
we really do need a small army of avatars for that end bit. They just need to slowly creep into the room like in people's nightmares.
Hum,
And
bum, ba, hum, ba, ba,
I know.
hum, ba,
I mean,
ba, hum, ba, ba.
I'm sure some people have nightmares and some people have wonderful dreams about us creeping into their room. But an army of miniature us would be a bit telling.
Just little fellas with beards. I'm sure there was a film with 7 of them in it.
Yes. Was it? No, I can't remember.
What would your dwarf name be?
My dwarf name would be Touchy.
Touchy, the only dwarf with a restraining order. Yeah. Oh,
And yours?
I think mine would be.
Gravy.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go with that, but I'll take it all day long. Yeah. Just always drinking a pint of gravy. Yeah.
While Touchy's in the corner, staying exactly 200 yards away from playgrounds. Yes. How are you, mate? You all right?
I'm all right. I'm all right, thanks. Oh dear me. It's hey, well, we've had Freedom Day.
We've had freedom. Do you feel free? Feel free.
To do what I want any old time. You still wear your mask in the shop. You feel free to do what you want any old time. Maintain 2 meter distance. Yeah. So I do.
Don't touch me. Don't hold me.
Never let him touch.
So I spent Freedom Day with my beautiful partner Frankie walking around one of the UK's largest shopping centres.
Blue water.
No. This one is located next to a lake. Some would say it's on the side of a lake. So
Is there some darts played there?
yes, but not the same place. Opposite sides of London. And it was quite liberating to walk around the centre without a mask. And there was only one shop that insisted that masks were worn.
Yeah, but that's because of what you look like.
Yeah. I mean, they used to do that anyway to me. They were like, just put this Frankenstein mask on.
Put this on.
It'll make you look better. But we were in there getting something done, and a customer came in and sat down who didn't have a mask on. And the staff celebrated. They were like, "Oh, you're the first person in 15 months not to wear a mask in this store. Well done." And I'm like, "Okay, that's slightly mixed messaging, but it was nice to walk around without a mask on." Yeah.
Well, I went to a supermarket called in fact, I'm going to say the name because I'm going to ask you a bit of trivia. Do you know what ASDA stands for?
I don't. But I enjoy a bit of trivia. Go on.
Everyday low prices. No, it actually stands for Associated Dairies.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, that's how it started out. Yeah, and the headquarters are in Leeds. I once went for an interview for a management trainee post there, and I didn't get it.
How are they on the sexual harassment suits now? Because after their campaign of slapping bottoms, I feel like the Me Too movement was directly linked to people slapping as the bottom.
It was people, but they were slapping their own bottoms. They weren't slapping other people's bottoms.
Yeah, but it was kind of subliminal permissiveness.
Yeah, you're right.
If you saw someone put change in their back pocket in Asda, there was a stampede to slap them.
Have it.
Yeah. It was a bit like you've been tangoed, where they had to stop it because it started perforating people's eardrums.
It's got sweet corn in it, you know, like that across the supermarket. So, well, I went to Asda anyway, and it was in a place called Bolden, which is near South Shields, where Cheryl Tweedy's from. And because my eldest was playing a football match there, and I thought I'll go and get a coffee and a sandwich at Asda. So I went to the Asda and went in, and I had my mask on because I'm like, yeah.
Understandably so, yeah.
And I expected lots of people without masks, but I would say there was maybe about 5 to 10% without masks.
Yeah.
The rest still had masks on. So was Freedom Day really just means you can maybe book a holiday?
Yeah, and even that isn't as straightforward. Freedom Day to me means that the government have shirked all responsibility and put it on the local business owners' day.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got some questions for you.
Fire away. You go first.
Okay, question number 1, Gregory Davies.
Okay,
Is
Russell McSorden.
Russell McSorden. Hey, that Mick will come in later on in this podcast, I can tell you.
Excellent.
So, if you were going bald...
What do you mean if? Look at the Captain M.
Oh, well, you may be able to... you'd make a great chubby vampire with that hairline. Yeah. Yeah. Count yourself lucky.
Yeah.
Would you? I mean, like if you were like getting a hair island and all that thing going on, would you just shave it or would you tough it out with like a bit of extra growth at the front, brushed over? And how would you go?
I would shave. Yeah, I would shave. I had an ex-in-law who tried the whole spray thing on their bald patch.
Oh yeah.
It's some kind of, like, the only way I can describe it is it looked like flocking, and it clung to the hair and kind of tried to flesh out the little that you had left, and it just looked like they were like a Ken doll or an Action Man doll with velvety hair.
Fuzzy felt hair.
Yeah, it was really bad. So I just couldn't do it, and there is, whether it be true or not, there is some kind of perception that balding men like The Rock and Jason Statham are full of virility.
Yeah.
So I think probably instigated by balding men. With William Hague at the helm going.
No, I know where that started, and I can tell you now.
Go on.
Telly Savalas started that rumor.
Who loves you, baby?
Oh, he loves a lollipop. He could have sponsored our Chupa Chup section.
He really could, and he would know the difference in flavors. So what about you, young Russell? What would you do?
Well, I'm genetically blessed, as you can tell by this handsome face.
You have a beautiful head of hair.
It to the point where when I was a kid, my hair just grew out like that. I often wished I'd had like curly hair so it would have at least looked like something, as opposed to just hair that grows straight out. If it had been an afro, it would have looked amazing, but it wasn't. I looked like a microphone. And so my dad's closer to 80 than he is 70. He'll kill me for saying that. He's not lost any hair, and he's only just gone grey over the last few years. So I don't think it's a problem that I will have to face, and that's why I put it in there, because
you're being smug about it.
I'm being really smug about it, but I would shave it. I would shave it.
So they say genetically there are 2 points in your life where you will go bald. You'll either go bald in your very late teens, or you'll go bald after what's considered the menopause in kind of your late 50s, early 60s. Any other balding that happens between those times is either stress or diet related. So where we see people losing their hair in their 20s, 30s, or 40s, it's stress related. So I have met your wife, and she is beautiful. and on the record, I'm going to say thank you for giving Russ such a stress-free life, maintaining his beautiful bouffant that he has going on. So my first question to you, Mr. Hairy Man, is what's your go-to cocktail?
Oh, I lost you there. You froze a little bit. So I don't know if it was me or you.
So what's your go-to cocktail?
Go-to cocktail. Right. Well, I do like a fruity cocktail.
Yep.
But my go-to cocktail is probably an amaretto sour or an old-fashioned.
Oh, very good. What, with a big round ball of ice in it?
Oh, when you get them, it's very special. You don't often get them, do you?
Because you can buy these copper presses which press the ice now, and they're like a couple of £100 each, and they are ridiculous. But I like it when the guy is so confident he's there with an ice spike, like Sharon Stone from Basic Instinct, just while talking to you. He's like, "Yeah, so where are you going on holiday?" Actually, I better hold. So
yeah, probably best.
That was a bit weird.
Yeah, if you're listening to this on the podcast, not watching the video, Greg's hand gesture of breaking ice, you could only just see his hand enter the screen every now and again. Didn't look good.
Didn't look very good, no, especially as my hand was cupped because I was holding an ice pick. Anyway,
what would your go-to be?
So I love a daiquiri and I love a pina colada.
Do you like pina colada?
I really do. And getting caught in the rain. But I also like a mojito.
Do you know what?
If I had to pick one, it would be a pina colada, I think.
I tell you what, mojitos I have a love-hate relationship with, because I love mint, but sometimes it's very minty.
Oh yeah, it's smacked in the face by a tube of Polos.
Oh my goodness, I was at a hotel with Jill for our anniversary a couple of years ago, and I couldn't get enough of the raspberry mojitos.
Yeah, the best mojito variant I've ever tasted was a green apple mojito. It was amazing. They put a shot of apple sours in it as well as some slices of apple, and it was fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, but it would. And when I was on honeymoon with my the first Mrs. Davis, I stayed at the Moon Palace in Cancun, which is quite a famous hotel in Cancun, and they combined a strawberry daiquiri and a pina colada, and they called it the Moon Palace, and it was pina colada with ribbons of strawberry daiquiri running through it, and it was fantastic. It was very, very good.
Like a raspberry ripple?
Like a raspberry ripple, but strawberry and alcoholic. And as it was all inclusive, that was like my breakfast.
That was my next question was it all inclusive and could you walk?
What I discovered White Russians.
Oh yeah.
As not like Vladimir standing behind me menacingly.
Drink, Davies, drink.
I'm drinking. All I want is bacon. No, you must have alcohol. But a White Russian is a brilliant breakfast drink. You know, it's fantastic.
Well, I don't like milk.
Go Black Russian then. Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. I tell you what I do like, which is it's not a cocktail, but it's quite nice, and it's Cointreau and Bailey's, and it tastes like chocolate orange. It's very nice.
If you put whipped cream on that and do it as a shot, it's called a screaming orgasm.
Well, I don't like milk or cream, so
no. But you like Bailey's. Bailey's is cream.
Yeah, but it's a bit like when you have an Irish coffee, but you put that much bloody sugar and alcohol in it that you can't taste the cream.
That's true. And if you like Bailey's, Hotel Chocolat, the high street shop, do a salted caramel Bailey's-esque liqueur, and it is fantastic.
Can you order that online? I'm guessing you can't you?
I believe you can, yeah.
I might get some. It was worth doing this just for that. I've got my second question.
Go on.
What would be your go-to fancy dress outfit?
Now you see, I've had a good track record.
Oh.
For my 30th, I had a music-themed fancy dress party, and I came as Tinky Winky the Teletubby because they had a number one album.
They had.
Yeah, and if I get enough people commenting on our Facebook page, I will put a picture up of me in a full Teletubby outfit.
So please get on our Facebook page and say just Greg Teletubbies outfit. That's all you have to put. And if we get more than 20 people saying it, you'll do it?
I'll do it. And as a bonus, if we get to 30, I'll put the picture of me as Homer Simpson. And so like away. I also like a partner one. So I went as Rapunzel when I was Finn Rider. However, the one I really, really want to do, and I need to lose more weight to pull it off, is I want to go as the Joker.
Oh yeah.
Want to go as the Joker, and I'd love to do Heath Ledger's Joker.
I was going to say you could Jack Nicholson it already, really.
But yeah, I can't. Jared, is it Jared
Leto?
Where he's kind of torso bare and then just has the jacket on.
Yeah.
But I think Heath Ledger for me is the epitome of a Joker. I think he was fantastic. Although I must say, Joaquin Phoenix's turn was unique and totally Oscar worthy. It was brilliant.
Do you know what I love about Phoenix doing it was that Heath Ledger and River Phoenix were very good friends.
They were,
and it felt a bit like a homage to both of them when he did it.
Yeah.
And I didn't appreciate just how good an actor he was. Seeing him transform during that film, feeling the emotional torment. I mean, it's getting a bit heavy, but it was a very good film. Very good film. And Heath Ledger, that bit where he's dressed up as a nurse and he blows up the hospital in the background. I mean, and when he goes in and all the mafia bosses are sat round, and that guy is amazing was amazing as an actor.
It's in that moment where and I'm ashamed to say I can't remember. Someone says you're insane or you're crazy, and he turns to him and he says, "No, I'm not." And then he licks his lips and says, "No, I'm not." And it's such a powerful performance.
Yes, very good.
And that in itself was Oscar worthy, and just absolutely brilliant. Right, go on. What's your go-to?
Well, I've avoided fancy dresses all of my life because I'm not as comfortable with myself as you are. Okay. And however, I have always fancied going to a fancy dress as Batman.
Yeah.
But like, who's your favorite Batman?
It would be the Christopher Nolan trilogy, so it'd be Christian. Yeah.
I don't think there is another Batman, to be honest. I think every other Batman just is imitation. That being said, we haven't seen Robert Pattinson yet, have we?
Well, I think his take is going to be very, very interesting because it's in the early years of him being Batman.
Yeah.
The others that we've seen, he's well, I say all the others. I mean, Christian Bale. We actually saw the full origin story, but this is a much younger version, and he's a great actor. Where whatever you think about it, the Twilight series, he is a brilliant actor, and I'm looking forward to it.
He's a bit typecast, isn't he? If you're not a teenage vampire driving around in a product placement Volvo XC60, then it's not a role for him.
It's really not, no. But okay, that was good. I would like to see you as Batman.
I'm Batman.
Batman. Okay, so where would you go if you had a weekend to spend in a city? What city would you go to?
Great question, because there are lots of cities that I haven't yet had the opportunity to visit.
Okay, well, give me two. Give me one that you always want to, and one that you've been to and adore.
Okay. One that I've always wanted to would be, and it's quite close to home. No, I'm going to go with, I'd love to go to Tokyo.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to Tokyo. Never been to Japan. Would love to go to Tokyo. I mean, the list goes on. Tokyo. 3 or 4 cities in China I'd love to go to. Hong Kong. I'd love to go to Hong Kong. Never been to Australia, so Sydney, Perth, Melbourne. Love to do all of that. But if I was to pick one, I mean, I've never been to Rome.
No, me neither.
Yeah, I've been to Venice, but I've never been to Rome. So, but I would go, if I could pick one, I could go tomorrow night, it'd be Tokyo, because I think when you see a culture that's that different to our culture, I just think it'd be amazing. And the one that is a go-to that I've been to before and I'd go back to again and again and again is London, my friend.
Yeah.
Love London. Love it. Yeah. It's right in our doorstep. We have a mutual friend who's your co-author, Julian Lewis, and he quite openly states that London is the greatest city in the world. And I think the thing with London is you can go to London on a sunny day and there is so much happening outside. Little pop-up food markets and bars, and you can go to the South Bank and Borough Market, and mate, I could walk around London and into bits that you don't normally go into and discover it over again and again and again and again. But I do like coming home to the northeast.
Oh yeah,
it's much cheaper to live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was lucky enough during the first lockdown to go up into London and walk around
Mm.
almost deserted streets and
Yeah.
see the kind of like the main monuments and stuff, up to Trafalgar and past Parliament and all that wonderful stuff. So I totally see that. And Tokyo, it's really interesting. They say Tokyo is the closest you can get on this planet to being on another planet. So for us, because you don't recognize the language, you don't, it's so different. So I totally see.
Well, did London, when it was deserted, feel a little bit like Cillian Murphy in 28 Days Later when he comes out of the hospital and is walking around Trafalgar Square?
Well, I was looking around for wads of £20 notes strewn over the steps of Trafalgar Square, and there just wasn't any. So I was quite disappointed. So my city that I would go back to that I've already been would be New York. And I went between Christmas and New Year. And so I've done the wind blows right through you. It's no place for the old version of New York. I would love to do New York in the summertime. A bit like what you've said with London, it's meant to be a totally different city and a totally different experience. For me, the city I'd love to go to, I've never done Italy in any shape or form. And the one that people tell me is the best is not right. It's actually Florence. Florence is a much better Italian city. So I would love to do Florence. But New York was a very close run race between New York and Lisbon for me. Lisbon is probably my favorite European city, which isn't London, of course.
Love the timeout bar.
Yeah, it's very, very good. There's lots and lots to do in Lisbon, and the people are beautiful. So, what's your next question, my friend?
What is your favorite superhero? That's a big question for people like me and you, that Greg.
It's a huge question. My So I think my favorite Marvel one is Daredevil. Massively underrated, really good origin story. Loved the Netflix series. I'm even a big fan of Ben Affleck when he played him in the movie.
I was going to say Ben Affleck ruined it for me.
But it was around the time where they weren't doing superhero movies right, and he still did it okay.
Yeah.
DC has to be Batman.
Don't say Ben Affleck playing Batman, because that would be Ben Affleck in both universes.
So, but overall, I think Batman would take it. And I think when the kind of surveys go out, that the two that always rise to the top are Batman and Spider-Man. And Batman normally takes it, and the reason that Batman normally takes it is because he's not a superhero.
He has no special powers.
No, he
What's your special power? I'm a multi-billionaire.
Yeah, that's it. So and we've got loads of those now, and all they're doing is launching penises into space. Like Jeff did this week. No one has yet become either Iron Man or Batman, and it disappoints me. But what would yours be, Russ?
Well, it's changed all through my life, and it's changed. I used to read lots of DC comic books when I was a kid, and Marvel comic books, and as they turned into a whole art form, I became an adult and stopped reading them. That was a waste of my life. I should have kept reading them.
Yeah.
So, but when we were kids, I think it would have been Superman. Would have been Superman.
Yeah.
Those films really resonated with me, and they were introducing humor into those films a long time before Marvel did, with Richard Pryor in Superman 3.
Yes.
Really funny. Loved that. Spider-Man was rubbish when we were kids.
Yep.
Just wasn't the same. That being said, Spider-Man with Tom Holland, amazing. Absolutely fantastic. But I would have to say my favorite superhero, because of the depiction on TV, and this actor that plays him has played many superheroes and two different versions of this superhero in the X-Men universe and also in his own standalone film, and that has got to be Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool.
Yeah, Yeah, that part. However, it was if there was ever a universal plan, Ryan Reynolds was made for Deadpool.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you're a big Ryan Reynolds fan. I am. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Just so funny, and his rivalry with Hugh Jackman is just genius. But Ryan Reynolds plays Ryan Reynolds in every film.
Every film.
It's just like we went to see the Hitman's Bodyguard's wife recently.
It's just Ryan Reynolds playing Ryan Reynolds again.
Ryan Reynolds, yeah. I watched Safe House again on Netflix.
Ryan Reynolds.
Van Wilder party liaison.
Ryan Reynolds.
Just Ryan Reynolds, and but you don't get a better marriage than him and Deadpool, and I'm so glad he pushed after playing that horrible version in Wolverine Origins. I'm really glad he pushed to play a comic book real version because he's just nailed it. It's brilliant.
Complete that same way he has baby legs. It's incredible.
It is great. It's
yeah.
Okay, my final question. My final question to you. In what form would you choose your potato to take?
Crinkle cut chips.
Really?
Yeah. For the Americans listening, that is not potato chips. That's fries. That's like a chunky-ish fry, crinkle cut. Yeah.
What? Oven baked?
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah. I do like a crinkle cut chip. I mean, it's close between that and cheesy mash, but
cheesy mash is very, very pleasing.
Yeah.
I like a bit of mustard in my mash as well.
Or a bit of horseradish.
Oh, horseradish is a good shout.
Yeah. How do you like your potatoes?
I'm not a big potato fan. Like the kind of bulk carb thing. I never liked grown-ups. I don't really like a lot of rice or pasta. Really didn't like a lot of potatoes. And even when it came to chips, I kind of pushed them to side. However, just because it makes me laugh every time I hear it, I like the Hasselback potato.
Oh yeah.
Which I call every time one arrives on my plate, I say, "Hi, David." And it just makes me chuckle. But they are a beautiful flavor,
Oh yeah.
Oil and garlic all in between. Yeah.
But for people who can't visualize what Greg's on about, he's on about a potato hedgehog. That's pretty much what he's on about.
Pretty much, yeah. They make really thin scores all the way down the back of the potato, and they either put oil or butter, garlic and herbs in, and as it bakes, it kind of roasts and opens up. And it's like the potato version of garlic bread. It's a thing of beauty.
It's the bloody future. That's what it is.
Peter Kay. Now the future would be Hasselback potatoes.
Well, I think that leads very neatly into business ideas because I think you can get a jacket spud shop like a spud like or something like that. Yeah, I think if you had a Hasselback potato shop, I think you'd do quite well.
Yeah, and the thing is you could get Justin Timberlake to sing the theme tune. We're bringing Hasselbacks. Yeah, it would be amazing. Oh, come on. I'm not even wearing cuffs today. And that was off the... Okay, get going with your business ideas.
I've only got one. It's a winner. I don't need more than one today.
Go on.
I was inspired by the council lawnmower people out and about in they do a convoy when they head out the depot. Do you get that? They're like, we're doing a convoy. And then they all split off to their different areas. At
2 miles an hour.
But they all have headphones on that they pretend to ear defenders, but you can tell that they're playing Thunderstruck at the top of their, because they think they're like
Thunderstruck.
Yeah. So
yeah, go on.
So and I noticed they went quite slowly, and I noticed that they go to built up areas where there's houses, and I thought that imagine if there were a lawnmower ice cream van. Right, so they're out there driving along, and they're going slow enough that you can just walk alongside and go, "I'll have a 99, please," or "Can I have a lemon top?" Or like, "Have you got one of those oysters?" And they go, "Don't have oysters, just got cider lollies today, lads." "Yeah, I'll have a cider lolly." and they can still do the job and still I
would love that. We need a name, don't we?
Well, I've just got lawnmower ice cream vans.
No, because they could cut the grass, which obviously flares up people's hay fever, and then you could have like a. Did you know that ice cream cures hay fever? And it would like create its own demand.
Yeah. So we need a name. So guys, on our crowdsourced helping with the business idea, lawnmowers that have an ice cream van element to them. We need some imaginative names because lawnmower ice cream van is about as imaginative as I'm getting today. So when we post this, when you've watched the video, when you've listened to the podcast, get in the comments. We want ideas for lawnmower ice cream vans. So the big question is, Greg, if we can get a name and it's tangible and we can get it marketed, are you in?
I'm only in if they play an ice cream van version of Thunderstruck as their like come and buy me.
That's standard. That
would be brilliant.
Or even an ice cream version of Back in Black. That'd be good.
Back in Black.
Not Back in Black. What's the one that like goes dum da da dum da da dum? What's that one?
Oh no, it is Back in Black.
It's Back in Black. Back in Black. Yeah, is that Black Sabbath?
No, it is AC/DC.
Oh, it's another AC/DC song. I like it.
It's good. I like that. I'm in 100%.
Yeah, Bill. Right. Well, I'll pass that to the solicitors, and if you can crowdsource us some names, we might cut you in with a 1% share in the business. Just saying.
Might, but probably won't.
Do you want some business news?
I would love some. Has there been any business news?
Yeah.
As far as I can see, all of the major business people have left the planet this week. So
well, I haven't done the theme tune yet. Just hang on. Business news.
Very good.
Right, I've got some business news. So I'm going to start off with Jeff Bezos goes to space. Like, because we've hinted at it. And how do you ignore the wealthiest man in the world putting his life at risk going up to space? Crazy fool. I ain't getting on no plane.
Absolutely ridiculous. But the best thing I've seen all week is where they've spliced it together with the Austin Powers where they pick up the rocket on the radar and then they use all different versions of the name for the male genitals because it is so phallic shaped. But honestly, if you type in Jeff Bezos rocket gold member, you'll find the video and it is just hilarious. Whoever did that is a genius. I mean, I'm whelmed again. I'm kind of like, meh. I mean, it had a little more presence to it than the Branson one because you saw it take off from the pad rather than from the plane.
Yeah.
I'm not massively bothered.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'll move on. I've got some more news anyway. You ready? I've got some more. Business news.
It's very similar to the last time you did it, but go on.
It's similar or dissimilar.
It's similar.
It should be. It's a theme tune. So there's a new word being developed. It's pingdemic, and the thing with the pingdemic is that there are 45,000 cases every single day at the moment of COVID.
Yeah.
But that doesn't take into account for every one of those, there's at least 10 people getting pinged to say that they've been into contact with. So at any time, there is a large percentage of our population that are isolating.
Yep.
And this pingdemic has created a similar food shortage situation to the one that we had in March last year, where you couldn't get toilet roll or flour.
Yep.
Which meant that you couldn't make papier-mâché because there was no toilet roll or any flour. So there's lots of food shortages heading our way, which is all the more reason to have lawnmower ice cream vans. So if ice creams go in shortage, you can just flag down a council lawnmower person.
It's difficult, especially now with home testing. I mean, surely there should be some logic behind it where if you can take a home test, then you don't have to self-isolate. Because what we've got right now is we've got small businesses being absolutely crippled because their staff can't come in because they've been told to isolate. There's also, if you read the terms and conditions of the app and on the government guideline, there's no obligation for you to have the app. So we've got swathes of the population that have it and swathes that haven't. So there needs to be some kind of sense here. Otherwise, we're going to have many, many more people self-isolating than have ever had the virus. But it's going to have as crippling effect on our economy. So there needs to be some sense right now.
I do know 2 people that have spoken to me in the last week that have said, I've taken the app off my phone.
Yeah, and we're not, look, let's be perfectly clear.
So that's not helpful, is it? That doesn't solve anything.
Doesn't solve it. It just pushes it underground.
Going underground with the COVID app, taking off your phone, going underground.
Good. Do you know why there was a toilet roll shortage?
Lots of people had rich food.
That's a better reason. But no, it's a classic case of herd mentality. So in Australia, they don't have any paper mills that actually make toilet rolls. So they import all of their toilet rolls from China. So when COVID hit China and all the factories started to shut down, the Australian people were panic buying toilet rolls. Now, people in Europe and America saw that on social media and thought that it was a direct result of getting COVID. So then went out and bought toilet rolls. So there is no need for anyone to bulk buy toilet rolls ever. But yet we were all like under the counter trading goods for single toilet rolls.
Here, do you want a toilet roll?
Like, buy some toilet rolls.
Do you know, Greg, every time somebody says Europe, I hear in my head, the final countdown.
And as well you should. As well you should. Anyway, okay, are we done with business news?
No, I've got one more.
You got one more?
Yeah, you ready?
Do the thing, tune.
Business news.
Very good.
It's another shortage. It's a quick one, this. It's only a quick one. Because of the weather we've been having, there is a gas cylinder shortage for barbecues.
Yeah, I can believe that.
That's it. That's just a fact. I don't even want to discuss it.
No, I can totally believe that. However, the Jimmy Carr wrote a 2-word joke.
Is it dwarf shortage?
It is dwarf shortage.
It's the shortest vote in history. I heard him do that on his tour. And it was really funny, but it was just after a joke about physical and mental disability that I didn't like, and it didn't go down well with the audience. And then he pulled it back with dwarf shortage, and everyone's going, we've just nearly booed him for the previous joke, but he's joking about people that have dwarfism, and we're clapping and laughing. It was but he's very good at doing that as a comedian.
So he's quite open with saying to his audience when they initially laugh and then they go, ooh, he goes, that's my favorite reaction. Yeah. When your instinct is to laugh, but then your brain kicks in and you go, you really shouldn't have. He said, that's when I know I've got you, because that's your like true humor coming out. So yeah, and he's an absolute master of his art. If you appreciate Jimmy Carr, he wrote a book called The Naked Jape, and it's him and one of his friends who have researched jokes through history, origins of jokes and where they came from. It is a brilliant read and one I'd highly recommend.
Oh, I thought I was waiting for a punchline. No, that was it. Oh, okay. Well, since we're on about news, I've got a new feature. Tom Cruise news.
Tom Cruise news.
Tom Cruise news. It's what's Tom Cruise been getting up to, and he's been spotted out in Tokyo. And what he's been doing, Greg, is just as they're all on the blocks getting ready to set off on the running race, he's just gone running past them with his blade hands, laughing like like that. I mean, what a crazy fool.
So is this for all disciplines, or is this just for sprint race? I mean, does he do it in the marathon and then complete the 26.2 miles, laughing maniacally before he finds a nearest sofa to jump on?
Mate, he's that fast with his blade hands. He's been running over the water in the swimming pool.
He does the pool. He does the rowing. Oh, with the rowing, he could adapt his blade hands. His hands are basically human oars.
He got himself in trouble though. He was at the clay pigeon shooting bit, and he ran in front of where they were shooting. He got a bit of buckshot.
Well, that wouldn't faze him. In fact, he would probably stare down for buckshot, and it would turn away. He would. He'd do that.
And ran off again. Yeah. So
you know how he left the stadium?
Was he running?
No, he wasn't. He lay on the end of the pole vaulting mat. And then as one of the pole vaulters came over and hit the mat, he was blasted backwards over the Olympic flame and out of the stadium.
That is so Tom Cruise.
So Tom Cruise.
Well, I like Tom Cruise news. I think we should look for some more Tom Cruise news in coming.
I think we should look for some more Tom Cruise news.
Oh well, brilliant. Yeah, well that's another thing ticked off. I'm north-south's going this week. Because of time, I'm just getting rid of it.
Get rid of north-south.
North-south's gone.
We've already agreed that we love London, but it's better to live up north because it's cheaper.
Loads cheaper. And we've had the weather this last couple of weeks anyway, so...
You've had the weather. You definitely had the weather, which you always do. It's a misconception.
I still look pasty, though, have you noticed?
Yes, I have. But that's because you have so much hair covering your face.
It's ridiculous. I've got more hair than skin.
It's like trying to get a suntan in a dense forest. It just ain't going to happen.
Yeah. Anywho, famous business person, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You've got to guess. Famous business person, right? I'm going to give you 5 guesses. Yes, no answers. Only 5. Let's see if you can do this one in 5. Don't just throw names at me because that's a wasted guess, right? And don't. I can see in your face you're going to say, is it James Dyson?
Oh,
don't.
So, is it not James Dyson then?
I'm not getting. My hands look tiny there. Tiny hands. They're just far away. Look, it's not James Dyson, so don't ask that one. Okay. Right. Oh. Over to you. Question.
Are they from the UK?
Yes.
Is it a man?
Yes.
Okay, because you really got me with Oprah the other week, and that just showed my sexism shining through. How dare I?
Mate, I'll be honest with you. I didn't just get you with Oprah. I got you with Walt Disney as well.
Yeah, you really did, and it was an embarrassment. I had the Ellams proper heckle me over that as well.
In fact, most of the people in your life will have just shook their head at you and
Most people in my life have disowned me now.
That was before that, though.
Have they appeared on Dragon's Den?
No.
Okay, so I'm down to 2 questions. Are they a chef?
No.
Oh, I thought you would have gone with Ramsay after your love for him.
I do love him.
Okay, so I've got 1 guess. So they're not a dragon, they're a business owner. UK business owner. Is it James Goldsmith?
No, hang on. You can guess when you've had your 5. You don't have to waste to get. Yeah. But it's not James Goldsmith. So I mean, I've given you an extra 2 there. But you've got 1 more question. Narrow it down.
Do they own retail shops?
They have done, but not the kind of retail shops you want to be spotted in.
Is it Peter Stringfellow?
No.
Oh, damn. Who is it?
It's David Gold. Who is the chairman or co-chairman of West Ham United Football Club, currently up for sale, I believe. But he also is the chairman of the Ann Summers retail brand.
Yes.
Which I believe he signed over to his daughter Jacqueline.
Jacqueline Gold,
now.
Yeah.
So there you go. Well, I mean, thank you for playing the game almost. You were almost there with that.
Having never got through to the last question before, I didn't realise I could ask 5 and then guess.
Yeah, because you just wouldn't blink and listen before. It's like that short attention span ADHD thing. Yeah, it's like
squirrel.
Yeah, with you doing lots of recordings, you know, when you're in the studio and the red light comes on, it's recording. You just go red light. Like that.
No, I duck. I assume there's a nuclear attack coming.
Oh, that's always, you can't rule that out at any stage of life, to be honest.
What's next?
So, we've got we've got two things left, really.
Okay.
Got two things left. One of them is serious. One of them's a bit of fun. I'm going to finish on a bit of fun. The serious one is businesses that are best of class. They are market leaders and they've defined a whole industry. And this brand that I'm going to talk about this week it's controversial because not everybody thinks of it favorably.
Okay.
And that is the Golden Arches. It's McDonald's.
Yes.
Yeah. And now I worked there for 5 years during my student years. And I believe I learned an awful lot working there. I learned an awful lot. I made some great friends, really enjoyed it. I'm partial to their products. Do like a McDonald's. I know it's not popular to say I like McDonald's. I do like a Big Mac.
Yep.
Do like a Big Mac. And I love the way that they have constantly evolved over the years, coming up with the drive-throughs and changing their methods, doing breakfasts and growing that market, staying open 24 hours, having flexible employment, just very, very clever. And even during lockdown, they have embraced the delivery, Uber Eats, all that kind of stuff.
Really, yeah. I mean, it's quite fashionable to say that you don't like McDonald's, but I've had many friends who, when they're on a night out and they've had a bit to drink, their go-to is a McDonald's. And what McDonald's have done over the years is they've taught the world how to franchise.
Yeah.
And whether their competition will admit it or not, the systems and processes in place that they have been replicated all over the globe. Even down to the fact that when you buy a McDonald's franchise, you are allocated a McDonald's business coach whose sole job is for you to get your investment back. And there's a great friend of yours and I's, Frank DeRaffi, who tells this brilliant story about, why is there a buzzer when you need to flip the burgers? It's because Malcolm is not looking at the burgers. He's looking at Nicole, who's cleaning the milkshake machine because they're both 16 years old. And unless he hears the buzzer, he's not going to flip the burger. They've put so much stuff in that and they continue to innovate. Like I was at a drive-through the other day and I looked through the window and they've got an automatic soda pouring machine now, which goes around on a little conveyor belt and it pours all the sodas. But the big thing for me about McDonald's, and if you haven't noticed, I totally agree with you, is the way they treat their staff. So in the late 90s, people were making a joke about muck jobs. Why don't you go and get yourself a muck job? And rather than come out on the offensive and go, what the hell are you talking about? McDonald's embraced it. And on all of their recruitment campaigns, they said, get yourself a muck job. Always ranked in the top however many companies to work for. Our management training scheme is the envy of the world. We pay more than minimum wage to the majority of our staff, including location allowance and travel allowance. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they've transcended fast food because they're and often the franchise owners are so involved in the local business community. They're not one of these franchises that just takes money and it disappears nationally. They get involved in community outreach. In fact, I do business awards for Orpington, and almost every year, the McDonald's franchise owner wins a community award for recycling or putting back or something because they are that far ahead. So, yeah, I totally agree. My one regret and my one disappointment in McDonald's is they haven't yet launched their range of sauces so you can buy them in the supermarket.
In a bottle.
Oh my God. Can you imagine, their sweet curry sauce at home or their Big Mac sauce at home? And I don't think they would lose revenue because of it.
No, I don't think so. I don't think they would. That'd be. I mean, another brands like Nando's and people like that have totally embraced that, getting out there and you were talking there about franchises and support for franchises. It is one of the most expensive franchises to buy.
Yeah,
it's stupidly expensive. But it's a business in a box in every single sense. It is very difficult not to succeed as a McDonald's franchisee.
Yeah.
Very difficult not to succeed. You could say it's a bit of a license to print money. I mean, I was a manager of a McDonald's the day that we had to take all of the beef off the menu.
Yes.
And I remember we got a fax through. It was like, I thought it was a wind up. I was like, well, we're just doing chicken and fish. What? You know, that was crazy.
People first.
Yeah. But you know, they've been through. They got through that. They've been through so much. But yeah, McDonald's best in class.
Definitely.
There you go.
Hands down. Yeah, very good, mate. Okay, what's the last item? Let's round.
The last item is I need you to do the soundtrack for it's business names.
Business names, they're really funny, and if they are good, they'll make you money.
We've had a business name sent in.
By whom? Whom is our interactive listener, Russ?
Daniel Kelly. Dan Kelly.
The legend that is...
Kelly Dan Kelly.
Lord Kelly Dan Kelly.
Lord Kelly Dan Kelly.
McKellison of the McKelly clan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He when you say Kelly Dan Kelly, it sounds like Kelly Damn Kelly.
Kelly Damn Kelly. Damn you, Kelly.
Damn you, Kelly.
Damn you to hell.
I went all Stephen Toast there. Yeah. Can you hear me, Clem Pandango? So he sent in a picture on our Facebook page of a business name for a food van, and it's called, and they've done it in the logo and everything, Only Food and Sauces.
Brilliant.
Only fools and horses. Only food and sauces.
Brilliant. So it's a yellow van.
Yellow van.
With the same. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, very good.
Really good. And you know, we do a little bit of research for this. So I've had a look online at some very funny burger van ones. So I'm gonna. There's a hog roasting van.
Yeah.
Called Hamburgini.
Hamburgini. Love it. There
is a kebab van, which is called Jason Donovan. But my most favorite one, and it must be an American one because it's in like an old UPS style van, but it's yellow with a huge burger on the side and a picture of this person with a magnifying glass looking at it, and it is called Burger She Wrote.
Burger She Wrote.
And the thing is, you could have a whole chain. So they could do a hog roast van and call it Jessica Hansbury. You know, you could have so many. It would be great. So I want to hear the best food truck vans that you've seen. I mean, there are some more tenuous ones on there. There's Indian Jones, which is like meant to be Indiana Jones.
If you have to explain it, it's not as good, is it?
There's Truck Norris.
Oh, love that.
Truck Norris is pretty good, but it doesn't really relate to the type of food. There's the Breakfast Club, if you yeah.
Hey, don't you forget about me.
Exactly. There are some very, very good ones, but I bet our audience can think of some better ones.
So get them sent in. That's pretty much everything for this week. Get them sent in on our Facebook page. Hopefully you've enjoyed this podcast. If you're listening to it on YouTube, please subscribe. You'll get notified when the next ones are out. And we're now available on Spotify and Amazon Music, as well as Podbean. And if you have any ideas for new segments as well, please send them in, because we've got two new ones. We've got businesses that are best of class, and we've got Tom Cruise news. They're two new segments. Yeah. But if you
just as we come to a close, if you went to a French burger van, would you have an egg on your burger, or is the burger an earth?
An earth. Is the burger an earth?
And on that note.